think interdisciplinary exchange is very important. It is to a certain extent just the insight that reality is so complex that a single individual cannot have a complete overview, can have a very deep grasp of all these different aspects of reality. So I think the more, with the progress of modern science, it becomes more and more, or it has become more and more clear that we know more and more of less and less. So we are focusing on more and more specific small parts of reality, and we know a whole lot about these small parts of reality. But of course, this means also that if someone becomes an expert in a certain discipline, then this whole specialization process begins earlier and earlier, because there's so much to know just about one field of research. So it's even within one discipline, people are saying that they don't know everything about one field of discipline anymore, because there's so much new knowledge that has been acquired in the course of the last centuries. So this makes interdisciplinary exchange even more timely now than in earlier times, because in earlier times one might have said that the overall body of knowledge is still limited, so some person might still have had a very good overview about the overall body of knowledge, but this is not possible anymore. So on the one hand, interdisciplinary exchange is just very important in order to get an idea of how complex reality is, of how many different bodies of knowledge, so to say, there are. And on the other hand, I think what is also extremely fruitful and important when it comes to interdisciplinary exchange, that it makes us very humble. Talking to people from another discipline, talking to scholars which are working in a completely different field, makes us very often aware that other people are concerned with questions, that other people get very enthusiastic about questions that we so far never thought of. So these questions even didn't come to our mind so far, and then all of a sudden we realize, well, there are people working for decades just on a question which so far did not even come to my mind. So it seems it makes us also humble. It shows us also how flexible the human mind is. Like Aristotle is saying at the beginning of the Metaphysics, that we have this deep desire to know. We want to know how reality is structured. And so interdisciplinary research makes us aware about this deep desire inside the human person, this desire to know more and more about reality. So I think interdisciplinary research tells us something important about just the whole complexity of reality. It tells us also something about the own limits of the research we are doing. It makes us humble. It makes us also aware that our field of research is just one among many others, that maybe we should also not take us so seriously all the time, or take the questions we are concerned with not as so serious, because there are other people being concerned with completely different questions in completely different fields of expertise, fields of research. And the how of interdisciplinary exchange, well, that's a very good question. It seems to me that one has to listen a lot. How can the best interdisciplinary exchange being done? Well, I think you have to listen a lot. You have to be willing to invest also a lot of time just to understand, sometimes just understand, well, why this is even a problem at all for the other person. Sometimes that might take a long process, because if you're not acquainted with this field of research, so sometimes you might not even understand why is this other person so concerned with this question. So I think it takes also a lot of time just to get or to acquire a bit of the mindset of another scholar coming from a different field of research. Yeah, and then I think it's just important to listen a lot, to talk a lot, maybe also to have this attitude that at the end I might not know what I get from this whole discussion. It's not that I don't think that one should enter an interdisciplinary discourse with this expectation that now I get out more for my own research. Maybe at the end I might have learned a lot, I might have gained many insights, but maybe these insights are not directly connectable to the stuff I'm doing, I'm concerned with. So it's more, yeah, it helps, it's nourishment for the mind. It opens up our mind, it nourishes our mind, and it helps us to learn more about what other people are concerned with. And I think these are the most important aspects and also the most profitable aspects when it comes to interdisciplinary discourse.